Hello, hi everybody. Hello, and hi to our brand new author, Lonnie Schaefer. Hi, Lonnie.
Hi, Miriam. So good to be here.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. We get to celebrate you on your book launch day. Please tell everybody the title of your book.
Okay, the title of my book is Loki, the Playful Cat.
I love the story. I was telling Lonnie right before the interview, it's just so fun, but I'm not going to talk about it. You tell everybody, please. First, let's start with what inspired you to write this book?
Okay, I have been a music educator for over 25 years, elementary classroom music primarily.
Mm.
And so one of my passions was to connect, I say that quote unquote, connect young children to pieces of great orchestral works.
Mm.
And so I would write poems and stories to give the children a something that they can visualize as they're listening. So it's active listening. And so I've often thought about putting those ideas in print and actually getting them out to the public just for fun because I thought they were
Mhm.
fun ideas. And so that's how Loki came about. I pulled my one of my favorite stories that I made up to go along with a piece of classical music.
Well, I love the way that you did that. So, first of all, the story is so much fun. The story is so much fun. And that will be my next question to let everybody know what the book is about. But then to be able to incorporate music inside of the story, that was a real treat. So, Lonnie, what is Loki, the Playful Cat about, and who would you say it's for?
Okay, well, first I would say it's for basically 4 to 9 year olds. However, I think it's fun. I think any age really, could play with it. It is ultimately an interactive story that has a foundation of Edvard Grieg, who is a famous Norwegian composer, his Norwegian Dance Number 2. It's a wonderful, playful piece of music. And so the story itself, the book, is about a made up cat. I call him Loki. And Loki is left all alone in the cabin, and Mr. Grieg has gone to town to sell his music. So he says, Loki, don't get into any trouble while I'm gone. I will have you fed. Somebody will come by and feed you. And so Loki, being the playful cat, he spends this time alone, just doing all kinds of fun things he likes to do. But then he just wants somebody to play with. That's what it boils down to because he just wants some friends. And he sees little
Mhm.
mice outside playing in the yard. There are 5 of them, and he sees they're really having a lot of fun, and he knows they live in the walls of the cabin. So he thinks, how can I get them to be friends with me? Because the big barrier is they're afraid of me. Mice are afraid of cats. What am I going to do? So Loki sings his song as he's finding a piece of cheese to put out on a plate in the living room. He thinks since mice love cheese, he'll have them come out and he'll see that, or they will see that he just wants to be friends. So the tune that he is singing is the A section of Norwegian Dance Number 2. I just put lyrics to it.
Mhm.
And pretty soon he gets tired and he goes to sleep. He says, I'll take a little cat nap. And so the mice are watching all this. And as soon as he goes to sleep, out they jump fast, furious, crazy, running. And one of them steals the cheese and they're running around because mice, that's what mice do. They're fast. The tempo in the music is fast. Anyway, all of a sudden they freeze. Loki's starting to wake up. They go back into their holes. Loki wakes up, and again, his theme is played, and he sees there's no cheese on the plate, and he thinks, great, they want to play hide and seek. And so he starts looking for them, knowing that they're out there. They just want to play with him. He's sure of it. And pretty soon by the time he's looked and looked and looked, he realizes they're not playing with him. They're afraid of him. And
Mm.
so he begins to cry. He just is out of ideas and he just is very vulnerable and sad. And the mice see that and they realize he just wants to be friends. So they come out and they pet his paws and they play with his tail and all is happy and good because they realize that there's no need to be afraid. So that's what the book is about.
What a fun book. Friends listening, don't you want that story for your kids? It's a beautiful, fun story, but I love the way you've incorporated music to it. Oh, so good. So I'm going to pause here and just let everybody know that this book is available today on Amazon, as of today on Amazon. So make sure to go there, grab a copy of this book. It's there in soft cover, the paperback, the hardcover, and ebook format also. Lonnie, what is it that you hope parents and kids will take away from this book?
Well, I think a real lesson is that it is hard to make new friends, and
Mm,
children probably especially they don't have the skills that adults do in making new friends, and it's hard. And so Loki, being representing the child in the story, I think they can connect with that, and anyone can because it is hard. And so you do your best, and
mhm,
sometimes it doesn't work. But as long as you're vulnerable and you try your best to let people know that there's nothing to fear, then you wait for those people to come to you after you've done your best.
mhm.
And
Yes,
And then, of course, there's the music lesson in all
of
of
course.
this. It's the music lesson, which is why I even started the story, is that the reader will learn and identify with an ABA form of music. That's what it's called. It's a three-part piece of music, ABA. The A section is Loki's song that he sings. The B part is the fast tempo. Loki's theme is a slower tempo. Then there's the fast tempo middle part, that's the mice. And then it goes back to Loki's theme again, the slow. So it's fast, slow, fast. So that's one musical uh, concept that children will understand through the music.
Mhm.
And then in the book, I put in, I think, four or five uh, music musical terms that they can learn, like um, duet, solo, and those kind of terms.
Excellent, excellent. I love that. So let's talk about your journey into becoming a children's book author. What would you say was the biggest challenge when writing this book?
My biggest challenge was how to get started,
Mm,
where to go, what to do. And Miriam, you were my catalyst. I saw on the internet, I saw an advertisement, and I think I can't remember exactly what you say on that, but it drew me to your site, and I'm very thankful for that.
mm,
So, how to get started, and then the second was not quitting. You know, when you start a big project, and this is a year-long project going through your program, um, and I think maybe I was a little luckier than some folks who start from scratch. I already had a story from
mhm.
years ago in teaching, but through your Zooming and you give author coach, I had a one-on-one author coach once a month to give me advice, workshops. You support your authors so well that you don't want to quit. You don't want to leave it behind. So that is a very nice thing.
Oh, well, I'm so glad to hear, Lonnie. But I want to say you made that commitment. You made the commitment. I'm going to do it in a year. And I'm so glad that we could support you in that. But here you are. Now we get to celebrate you and your wonderful book. So I'm so happy for that. Now let's talk about lessons. What was the biggest lesson for you in maybe throughout the writing? We talked about the writing throughout the publishing process. What was the
Yes,
lesson?
yes. Okay, I think the biggest lesson is understanding that there are three ways to publish. You have
Hmm.
traditional and you have hybrid and self-publishing. And for someone just starting out, that is really important to know. So that was a one thing. And for me, the hybrid, as your program is, was perfect. Um,
Mm,
so you helped me, and then I contributed everything I had, but you guided me along the way. That was perfect. The second lesson I learned that I thought was really important in writing a children's book is that the child in the story, the main character, assuming it's a child, and in my case it was a cat representing a child, um, that they need to solve a problem, and that the problem has to be their own. They own the problem. No adult can help them with it. So I that was a very important concept for me. So
hmm.
it made sense to write the story along those lines and emphasize the problem.
Yes.
That how Loki solved it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have understood that.
Yes. Well, I love the way you put that into practice in the book. Loki has his problem. He's lonely. He wants to make friends. And then he figures it out the solution for himself. That was just perfect, perfect. And then the other thing you mentioned about hybrid publishing, it's the happy medium between traditional publishing and self-publishing. And now, Lonnie, I like to call us assisted self-publishing. Because you
Oh,
are publishing your book and you are getting the assistance
uh-huh.
from a professional company that helps you with all of the things that go into publishing your book. So thank you for mentioning that, Lonnie. I think those are great lessons that perhaps somebody else is learning today as they're watching this. So, okay, I didn't ask you, Lonnie, how long had you been thinking or had the dream of writing and publishing your book for?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I'm a retired music educator and I wrote my stories many years ago. So probably in the back of my mind, it was germinating,
Hmm.
for many years.
Many years. Okay, good. So what is the best part of now accomplishing this dream for you?
The best part is, well, I have to include that my granddaughter is the illustrator, which I love.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
She is 15. And that's another thing that I would love to point out. She is a very accomplished little oboe player. I shouldn't say little, she's very grown up. And she um, accepted my request to play Loki's song, play his
Mm.
melody. And so we recorded it and it's on the website. So that
Okay.
she played her oboe and actually in the piece itself it's played by an oboe, that theme. And so that was a wonderful thing she did besides illustrating. And then
Yes.
my friend Gretchen, who is the second illustrator, who is a professional artist, filled in background and color. So it was a delight to have them in this process.
I did not know that. And of course, now I'm looking at the back of your book. I see your granddaughter. Please share her name. You shared Gretchen. The two illustrators, would you share their names?
Right. It's Louise Rutherford. She lives in Virginia, and Gretchen Jankowski, and she lives in Chicago.
Talented. So talented. I love that. Oh, so good. So I'm going to ask you to share your website in a bit so people can go and find also the information and hear the music also. But before we do that, what advice do you have now for an aspiring author who may be watching this interview?
I would say jump off the cliff, do it. I would recommend Miriam Laundry, not because you're sitting here looking at me, but but because of the support that your team gives. I love that when I was down and thinking, well, this isn't going to work, or that's not going, or I don't understand the internet, completion of this. They just jump in and they're so supportive. They get back to you immediately. So I would recommend hybrid publishing and just gather your ideas. I would say uh, gather your thoughts and have something germinating, in there before you start so that you've got a base, and then they will the team will help you to expand and
Hmm.
formulate your book.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind words. So, friends, everybody watching, today is Lonnie's day. Let's support her. Let's go to Amazon, buy a copy of her book. Truly, your children are going to have fun with this book. And besides going to Amazon, can you tell everybody, Lonnie, where else can they find you? Your website, your social media handles?
Mhm. Well, I have a Facebook author page, and it's Lonnie Schaefer dash author. So that's one place. And then the other is my website, lonnieschaefer.com. And those are my two places. And especially lonnieschaefer.com. Um, in order to even complete this story, if you do purchase it, of course, I thank you for doing that. But go to the website and then hear the piece of music because it is the foundation for the story. And that's under
Yes.
resources on the
Okay.
website.
Okay, excellent. So, friends, you're going to buy the book on Amazon today, and then make sure to go to the website, lonnieschaefer.com, go to resources, and you're going to be able to hear the music. Oh, and your children are going to enjoy that. So great, Lonnie. Well, it's been such a pleasure speaking with you. I do want to ask you one last question. I want to give you a chance if there's anything else you want to share or anything you wish that I would have asked you.
Um, I I can't, but again, I do want to thank you, Miriam. Um, it's a joy to talk to you in person. And so I thank you for all the support. And I just say to anybody who wants to write a book, go ahead and do it because it's a fun process. And boy, seeing something in print is exciting that you have come
Yes.
up with.
Yes, for sure. Well, I love that you put this book together. I love that you worked with your granddaughter, I believe you said, right?
Yes,
Your
yes.
granddaughter. This is a legacy piece. Absolutely great job with this book. Thank you, friends, for being here. Thank you for tuning in and watching the interview. And Lonnie, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.